Do you really think that this is all there is to life? The 9 to 5 hamster wheel, the same shit, different day. Thinking small, so therefore playing small. Believing you can't achieve anything, so not even trying. But we're here for so much more. We're here for greatness. We're here for mission, and we're here for purpose. So it's time to use the energy of Easter Sunday, which is resurrection, rebirth, and renewal, and to kickstart your life into something that you actually deserve and desire. Something magical. It's your time to shine now. It's your time to become your very best self. My name is Angela Cleary. I'm a feminine empowerment coach. I specialise in healing after narcissistic abuse, and I also offer twin flame and spiritual guidance. We play small because that's all we ever have known. We follow what's in our environment. We take on the conditioning and the learned behaviour of what surrounds us. So we never actually think outside the box. We believe that this is all there is. That this job that doesn't fulfill us, this relationship that we settle for, this life that we settle for is all that there is. That we're not good enough for more, that we don't deserve more. But we're all here for mission. We're all here for purpose. We're all here for a reason. What is your reason? Like, the energy right now is this kickstart energy, this renewal energy. And what are you going to do with that energy? Are you going to stick with the small environment you're in, the small mindset that you're in, or are you going to grow? I'm going to read this quote, and this is really relevant to what I want to speak about today. A shark in a fish tank will only grow 8 inches, but in the ocean will grow to 8 feet or more. The shark will never outgrow its environment. And the same can be said about you. Many times we're around small thinking people, so we don't grow. Change the environment and watch your growth. So what is keeping you small? What is keeping you in that little fishbowl? We're supposed to be creating, we're a drop in an ocean. We can create magic. We can create the reality that we want. So why are we still in this stuck energy? Why are we not manifesting that? Why are we still not shining? A lot of times we're afraid. We're afraid to be ourselves. We're afraid to do anything that goes against the grain. We're afraid to do anything different. We're usually the first person to break free from the matrix. We're usually the first person in our environment to actually start thinking big. And people laugh at us. People try and bring us back down. People try and dampen our dreams. So we go back into that fishbowl. You know, we're there kind of climbing over the edge of this fishbowl, trying to jump out into the sea, and everyone's there kind of pulling us back in. What are you going to do? Push them away. What if they come with you? Bring them with you. But in other words, we need to get out of this fishbowl. We need to get out of that small mindset. And, you know, I call it a small town mindset. Because especially in Ireland anyway, if you live in a small village and you think, oh, this is all there is. And you never leave the fucking village. Oh my God, leave the fucking village. Please leave the village. Oh my God. Like, you know, it took me till I was like, it took it for a trauma for me to leave my village. And I was in my late 20s before I ever left my village. Oh my God. And I thought all there was to life was the fucking depressing life of the village. Oh my God. Jesus, no dreams, all negativity, all just small. You know, what's that other quote? How can you have a £1 million mindset or on what is it? How can you live a £1 million lifestyle on a minimum wage mindset? And that's it. And that's, you know, that's before I left the village. Everyone was the same, you know, and you start to reach for the stars and they're like, nah. No, you just can't do that, Jess. You can't do that, Jess. That's too different. You can't do that. No. We don't have that potential. But why do we keep thinking we don't have that potential? Because we fucking learned it. That's why. We don't shine. We don't reach for the stars because everyone around us doesn't reach for the stars. But everyone else is walking off a fucking cliff. Oh my God, we're following them off a cliff. And is that all there is? Like, this is all that, like, in this existence in the Matrix, we think, right, go to school, get a job, build a house beside me mother, marry the farmer down the road, have kids and live happily ever after, but get to the middle of your life and realise that you fucking didn't do the life that you wanted, so therefore you have a midlife crisis and you're waking up to the truth. And this is it. Are you going to really go down the route that everyone else went to fucking get to the end of it and realise, shit, this wasn't for me at all? Why was I playing small when I had so much more? And you know, you're going to get that feeling. You're going to get that call to action. You're going to get that it's like this itchiness inside your skin. It's like, trying to get at you. It's like, fucking wake the fuck up. You know what I mean? It's like telling you there's more to this shit. There's more, like, the way I see it, and I keep describing this, do you really think there's a brick wall behind the fucking moon? Do ya? Do you think there's nothing out there? Do you think that we only came here to die? And do you think that when we die, it's over? Because a lot of the times before I awakened anyway to the truth, I believed that when we died, we died. It was the end. That was it. Do you know, and I actually was so scared of death. I was really afraid. And that's another thing. We're so afraid of death. Death is not final. Death is a transition. We are souls living a human experience. The bodies that we're in are temporary. We don't cease to exist after this. But we're here for more. We're on this planet to help humanity. Not to fucking die after doing nothing with your life. Living with depression and anxiety your whole life because you didn't change. Now, don't get me wrong. I know what it's like to be conditioned. I know what it's like to be in that bubble. It's just this bubble of falsehood, negativity, depression, anxiety. The energy. And like I used to feel like this as well. My energy about life was that it was bad luck all the time. Everything went wrong. Anxiety and depression was the norm. Toxic abuse was the norm. Violence was the norm. Anger and aggression was the norm. But everything was always in this spiral of never-ending chaos or never-ending depression or never-ending negativity or never-ending bad luck. And that's how we feel when we don't break out of that. But usually we get the biggest wake-up call we normally get is a trauma-based wake-up call. It's a terror moment where we're actually really shaken up to the fact that, everything that we ever thought we wanted goes to shit, and we're like, why is everything changing? Everything is changing because it's not for you. Everything is shaken up because it's not for you. What is for you? What sets your soul on fire? You know what I mean? We're not here to work for somebody narcissistic who treats us like a fucking slave, who expects us to jump when we say how high, who doesn't care about our well-being and that we're just a number. We're here to live a life of fulfillment. We're here to work a job that fills us with joy, but also helps other people. Do you know what I mean? We're here for happiness and love. But if we're stuck in that old reality, if we're stuck in that small environment, if we're stuck in that fishbowl, how the fuck are we ever going to expand? How are we ever going to grow? And that's the thing. We cannot grow if we're surrounded by people who are keeping us stuck in that fishbowl. That's what it is. You know what I mean? We should all be building a ladder together and helping each other out of this fishbowl. And yes, obviously we do try to help the others out of the fishbowl. We do build a ladder. We throw it back down. And they try to pull us back down rather than come back up with us. We've given them proof that this shit works. And yet they're still looking at us going, nah, let's swim around this tiny little fishbowl forever because that's what we do. Oh my God, stop fucking doing what everyone else is doing and do what makes you happy. Do something that, creates your authenticity. That's real. I get so triggered by people being fake. I get so triggered by people being inauthentic. I get so triggered by people not living their truth and being so conditioned. And it's just like, oh my God, and I don't like violence, but Jesus, come on, I'd slap you across the face. Wake up to fuck, will you? Jesus Christ. You know what I mean? And it fucking bugs the shit out of me. Like, come on. And I said this before. Years ago, if we were awakening, we were told we were psychotic and locked into a fucking cell. Do you know what I mean? The symptoms of bipolar are very similar to the symptoms of spiritual awakening. So years ago, we didn't have the resources we have now. But now we have the world of knowledge at our fingertips. So stop mindlessly scrolling and start researching why you're on this fucking planet. Start researching what you want to do with your life. Start learning more skills so that you can expand your knowledge and growth and change out of this system. Why are you... Oh my God, Jesus, throw away your phone if you're not using it for research. Please, I'm sorry. Bugs me. Really bugs me. If you're not learning something every day to expand yourself and grow, what are you doing? What are you fucking doing? Seriously, come on, wake up. Sorry, but seriously, we can be or do anything we want. We literally, if you put our mind to anything, we see we're creatures of fear of failure, so therefore we give up at the first hurdle. we don't keep trying. And that's the thing. Like when we're kids, we feel inadequate, or, you know, we don't continue with something because we're not encouraged. So therefore, as an adult, it's like, if something is hard or messy, we don't bother. We just like, fuck that shit, you know, fuck it. I'll do the easy route. I'll do the same shit different day thing because I don't have to put effort in. But you know what I mean? If you actually keep trying something, it's the simple thing of creativity. You know, as a child, I stopped doing art and stuff because I didn't think I was good enough. The reason I wasn't good enough is because I didn't practice enough. If you practice something more and more, you become confident. You become the master at it. And you know, I've done this before. Like, and the first thing that made me realize this was I was working in a factory. I was a general operative before I became a supervisor, and I worked like a fucking dog. It was really hard, intense manual work. And I worked like a fucking dog. I didn't know I could ask for help. And I got so frustrated doing these jobs, so angry. I'm like, fucking hell, this is so hard. But I kept going because I didn't give up. And I mastered everything, and then I became supervisor. So when I started creativity, the whole thing came into my head. I was like, this is too hard. And fucking no, it's too messy. I'm not good at this. And I remembered the job. And I was like, hold on now. If you don't give up, you can actually master anything. And, you know, I became good at creativity then. You know, and I've become good at anything I try now because I don't give up. So why are we playing small? You know, because we're afraid. We're afraid of trying. We're afraid of actually putting that effort in. That's what it is. We're fucking lazy because we're conditioned. And that's a fact. When I was in that matrix, I was like, why bother? What's it all for? Because at the end of the day, I didn't think there was anything at the end of this. So therefore, I was like, what's the point in trying when there's nothing at the end of it? Or there's no point. There's no fulfillment. There's no point. You know what I mean? Why bother? And that's the way I felt. But now I see, oh my God, and it's just so beautiful. Oh, do you know what I mean? Like, you're in that darkness, but when you break out of it, oh my God, life becomes so much more beautiful, and you get to discover parts of yourself you didn't even know existed. You get to discover your own light, your own beauty, your own magic. That's fucking huge, right? And you can create so much abundance and love and prosperity and opportunities around you just by investing in yourself, by putting that effort into yourself, doing that inner healing and discovering why you're here. Do the research and fucking discover what you can do for this world. You know, why we're on this planet, why we're awakening, you know, worldwide right now. We're here for so much more. We're here to shine a light so that others will follow. And that's the thing, right? You know, with this fishbowl, and I said this before, this analogy, like you throw back down that rope and they don't want to fucking come. They'll just try and pull you back down. Your hands are fucking bleeding trying to fucking pull them up, but they're not making the effort. So you have to let go of that rope because they're not going to try. But when you do the thing and succeed and show these people proof, that's when they start to move. You know what I mean? So you might be kind of going, oh my God, I can't leave this fishbowl because this is where my family is. This is where all my friends are. This is where all the small time people are. But I just, you know, they're my people. So I have to stay here. Yeah, but, you know, you know what I mean? We're here to expand. And, you know, I get so passionate about this. I want to help that next person. I've given away so many copies of the law of attraction to fucking help people come with me. And they just don't listen. So you have to show them the proof. Because with this mindset, we need proof. We're creatures of fucking habit. You know what I mean? Like, I would have needed proof. We're like, oh, we have to see it to believe it. No, you have to believe it in order to see it. But anyway, they'll only start bringing themselves up that ladder when you show them the actual proof. You know, and some of them mightn't actually do it because they're going to be still stuck in that conditioning, that old mindset. But the only way we can help anyone else, right? And it's not just, there's so many people outside of that fishbowl that we can help, right? So you know what I mean? So if we're concentrating and wasting all of our life force energy trying to help somebody who's just sucking that from us, how are we going to help ourselves, or how are we going to help anyone else? It's time for us to release ourselves from that fucking fishbowl, help ourselves, expand ourselves, grow ourselves, so that we can help the next person, the ones that want to be helped. Now, hopefully, as you grow and expand, the ones in the fishbowl will see this and come with you. But it is not your job to fix everyone in the fucking fishbowl. It is your job to fix yourself and fix the people who want to be helped, who want to help you as well as help themselves. So this is our time to shine. This is our time to figure out what we're doing here, why we're on this planet. And that's the energy of this Easter Sunday or Monday. I have no concept of time. It's a bank holiday, so I'm a bit confused. But yeah, this is a sign of rebirth, renewal. This is our life. This is our chance to start again. This is our chance to start that new chapter. Start the whole new fucking book. Throw away the old book. The old book was shite. I'm sorry, the old book was fucking toxic. Do you know what I mean? Leave the old book in the fucking fishbowl and go start your new book in this fucking ocean. There's a vast ocean of opportunity for you. Or there's that tiny drop of water that you're all fucking sharing in the fucking fishbowl and it's fucking toxic. Absolutely toxic. It's like that. It's like, sorry, we went to a swimming pool where we were kids as well, which wasn't very hygienic. And I've just imagined this fishbowl now, big dirty fishbowl of dirty water, and that's all it is and all it'll ever be. Get out of it. Come on. Cleanse yourself in this fucking ocean of opportunity. You know what I mean? So literally, we're here for purpose, mission. We're here for fulfillment. You know what I mean? There shouldn't be, in this new earth, in this new timeline, there's no fear, there's no lack, there's no greed, there's no hate, there's no pain. You know what I mean? Whereas in this fucking fishbowl, there's all of that shit. And you know what I mean? Oh my God, actually just imagining, right? And I know it's a metaphor, but technically, when we're still in that negative, toxic matrix environment, we're in this confined space that's full of toxicity, full of negativity, full of fear, full of all of that shite, and you can't get out of it unless you get out of it, do you know what I mean? And I've said this before, put a good apple in a bowl of bad apples, and what you get a bowl full of fucking assholes. So the longer you stay in the fucking bowl of bad apples, you're going to turn into a fucking asshole. Because I'm sorry, the longer we stay in that environment, the more septic, infected that it becomes. And that's a fact. For example, I was in a narcissistic relationship for 8 years. I was in another one after that and stuff. And I'm very, very experienced with narcissistic abuse. But I've seen this with narcissistic abuse victims. If you stay too long in the environment and don't escape it, you effectively become narcissistic yourself. And I remember when I was with my two exes, I took on their traits. And I was always trying to be a good person. But there was parts of me that I learned from them that I didn't like. And it wasn't very pure. So if I'd have stayed around those people for longer, I would have effectively turned into them. And that's fucking scary. So the longer you stay in the fishbowl, if you stay in the fishbowl forever, you're going to turn bitter. You're going to turn nasty. You're going to turn into that fucking septic shit. You know what I mean? The reason fucking Scrooge turned into Scrooge was because he remained in this toxic energy without, letting love in. And that's what it is. We're effectively allowing hate and negativity and fear to seep into our system. And it's going to stay there unless we jump out of that fucking bowl. And that's a fact. So it's time to figure out what your purpose is. It's time to figure out your magic, because we all have magic. We all have something to share with this world. We all have something that we can do to help others. And that's what's so beautiful about it. We're not even just getting to live a life where our work is enjoyable. That work is getting to help other people. So that makes it even more enjoyable. So you're double winning. You're helping yourself and you're helping humanity. What else? What else would you choose? What else would you choose? So please, take that leap out of that fishbowl, jump into that vast ocean and discover your fucking magic. Discover what you're here for. Because I promise you, this is not the way it's supposed to be. You're not supposed to be living a life that's miserable. You're not here to just exist and die. You're here to live. You're here to grow. You're here to evolve. You're here to become your very best self so that you can do your very best for this world. So use this energy right now to break out of that conditioning, break out of that negativity, find who you really are and discover why you are here. So thank you so much for listening today, and I really hope this resonates. If it does, please like and share, and please subscribe to my channel so it can reach as many people as possible. And if you'd like help on your journey, please book me for a discovery call today, and I'd love nothing more than to help you on your path.